We're sipping on spice.
And we're together and we're live, and today we are talking about the Foxy Pirate Arc on Long Ring, Long Island.
Yes, not to be confused with Long Island Medium, because that would be wrong.
Yes, that would be a fantastic crossover. Don't tempt me with a good time.
Start out with Bellamy and Doflamingo because they're back.
Yes, I really didn't like Bellamy, actually. My first note is Bellamy's back. I was like, we got to deal with Bellamy again. He's a bully, and I didn't like him in Jaya. But Doflamingo is actually making them do stuff to themselves against their will, like making them move their bodies. Pretty messed up.
You know, you and I have talked before. We were like, we don't know much about him. I said I didn't get great vibes. Here's the thing. I think that it is standard protocol in storytelling that if you are the kind of person who takes away somebody else's free will to, I don't know, make them do whatever you want them to do, you're probably not the best guy. So now you've got McGee hanging on to top tier McGee. And they're the ones in and so that's bad, right? Bellamy's a person and he's still getting destroyed by Doflamingo. I don't have great vibes about Doflamingo. He's given villain energy.
I wrote down I was wrong because at first I was like, oh, I don't get that bad of vibes from him at the Warlord meeting, but we only see him for a little bit. Imagine how dangerous his devil fruit is to make people do things against their will.
No, that's top tier bad.
Imagine how dangerous his power can be. Pretty evil.
It's top tier evil. And we find out that he was controlling Bellamy, that he's been working for him this whole time. So again, this whole setup with what we saw with the Straw Hats, everything we saw in 151, Bellamy was planted.
And being controlled by Doflamingo.
Yes. Well, at least to be told to handle this, right?
Right.
So he was told to handle the Straw Hats, but also potentially Blackbeard, right? Debatably.
Do they interact, Bellamy and Blackbeard?
What happens is that Bellamy on the One Piece, the era of pirates, pretty much says that it's all a fake and it's all a lie. And Blackbeard does overhear that, and he does have that sentimental speech with Luffy about that. So I would say, yes, he at least assesses Bellamy as a pirate. Debatably.
Okay. Like Bellamy.
If we can even call Bellamy a pirate. I call Bellamy a lackey at this point, because if he doesn't believe in the One Piece and the will of pirates, what are you?
Doflamingo talks about new era and new champions, and that the weak won't survive. So that ties into what Bellamy was saying in the tavern. I didn't clock that. I didn't think of that till just now. Just that Doflamingo's a jerk, and he's saying, like, I basically am going to start this new era, or I'm going to be a part of this new era of pirates where the weak don't survive. That ties exactly into what Bellamy was saying in the tavern.
But also, right, Doflamingo says a new era is coming, and he has no use for Bellamy, right? In this, I want to call back to what Shanks said, which is the world government should be more worried about us with what's going to happen, right? Do I think that Doflamingo and Shanks are in ranks? Absolutely not. I think they're on two very different sides of the coin. But my point is that you have Shanks saying there's a new era coming, Doflamingo saying there's a new era coming,
right?
And then you have the world government kind of with their ass to a wall right now, so to speak. So something is coming. Now, are they all the same thing? I don't know. But it's strange that every single one of these characters that are pivotal, especially during this lack of a warlord moment, are all saying a new era is coming. What does that mean to them? And does it mean something different to all of them? Or are we all talking about the same thing? And Shanks is certain he's going to win, and Doflamingo is certain he's going to win.
Fascinating. We will see. And then also, people are their most dangerous when they're backed against the wall. So you said the world government's butts against the wall. They're their most dangerous.
I think so.
When cornered.
So, they're down a warlord.
Right.
Their warlord has been found of corruption. You have now people knowing that Nico Robin is also still out there. Nico Robin's a real loose end. If what we believe to be true, if we believe that she is one of the last keepers of history that they are trying to snuff out, right? Because debatably they are, then the world government knows that's a problem, right? They're looking a little backed against the wall, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Again, that makes them their most dangerous.
And you have Smoker, right? And we can't forget about the internal conflict, right? The fact
Yeah.
that the world government told Smoker that they wouldn't acknowledge that the Straw Hats actually took down Crocodile, and he pretty much gets, I forget what he says. He's like, go to hell or whatever.
Yes, exactly, I think.
Then you have discourse within the Marines also.
Mhm. Mhm.
We have a lot of strife happening around the Marines, and while they have power, we haven't quite seen how much power they have yet.
We haven't yet, but that sounds like implosion is technically going to happen. I have these feelings of like, I think Doflamingo's a big bad, but I think he's a problem for the world government, like you said, and his power is gross. Like making people do stuff against their will is terrible. But if he's a
Yeah.
problem for the world government, is an enemy of my enemy my friend?
To an extent.
Because, like, think about it. So think of Luffy and then think of Shanks and the world
Mhm,
government and their aspects of all of this. I agree with you. It seems like Doflamingo would be the type of character that's over here with his own agenda. Like, sure,
mhm.
he's a warlord, bounty forgiven, but he's going to have his own agenda. If you were to take on the world government, would you not want this person with their own agenda from the inside? Because
Well, it
also
depends on if you
implosion.
like what they have to do, because here's the thing, is at the end, you have to take down that person too, because really, this is a gentleman's bow for a couple minutes, but not long term. So if we're talking about that, no. And do I think that Shanks would go low to go high? No, I don't. In the same way that I
Interesting.
don't think, do you think that Luffy would team up with a bad guy to defeat another bad guy? I don't.
No, I don't think Luffy, but again, Shanks is so mysterious. I don't know that much about
Shanks,
Shanks.
I see Shanks as he is literally Luffy's teacher. He taught him morality. No, I think that they're one and the same. It's just Shanks knows more, has more, is more.
Interesting. Don't think Luffy would necessarily go low to go high, but I don't know enough about Shanks to form an opinion there. I still don't fully trust him.
I
So
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. But now, do I think that he's going to be out there being like, Doflamingo, you're my bestie? No, I'm not saying that by
No.
any means. No, no, no. But
But
I'm
would
just
he use
saying,
him? No, I don't think so.
and in a fight against the world government, I would think Doflamingo would be so valuable to have on your side.
Maybe.
And
You're
I
not
would think
wrong.
Doflamingo is the type of personality that would want to make the world government implode for his new era.
Maybe. Yeah. Again, who knows?
I don't know.
It's just interesting they're all talking about this new era. We also find out that Bellamy was supposed to twist people around by taking advantage of differing opinions. So again, when he was talking about the One Piece, was talking about the life of
Mm,
pirates, his whole point was to essentially sow discourse amongst the townspeople and the visiting pirates, let's say. So that's all Doflamingo wanted is he said, you go out there and you
mm,
just start stirring the pot, my guy. You go out there and you
mm-hmm.
churn butter and you don't do anything else. And so everything that Bellamy ran his mouth at, now does he believe it? I don't know.
We don't
But his
know.
all he did was run his mouth and it worked. It worked.
Honestly, this makes me feel bad I hated Bellamy so much. Like, I actually feel kind of bad. I'm sure he's terrible, but if he was
No,
just a
he's got big
puppet,
energy.
I'm sure he's terrible, but if he was a puppet, that's also, if he was used, that's also bad. Doflamingo's the big bad then, like we talked
He
about.
signed up to be used, though. I do not see Bellamy as a victim by any means.
True. And that actually, the sowing of discord, that's very, that Oda is definitely
Crocodile
calling out
101.
some stuff. Well, no, just in real
Crocodile
life.
101, dude. That's what he did well.
That's
Now,
fascinating.
better question, was Doflamingo kind of down with what Crocodile was doing just in his own way? Clearly not working together. They're clearly their own agents, but when we
Right.
talk again, when we're saying new era, we're all saying new era. Why are we all saying new era?
Interesting. The powers that be go away and the new powers. Fascinating. I'm very curious to see what happens. I would think the Doflamingo would be like, oh, I could see the value in what Crocodile was trying to do in Alabasta. I'm very curious to see more of Doflamingo's character.
And then one other thing I want to call out here before we move on from Bellamy
Mm-hmm.
is that Bellamy says that if he doesn't stop the Straw Hats, they could reach Doflamingo one day.
And he's worried about it.
Yes, so he's
I'm
worried
not
about it,
worried, but
but I mean that's his guy for
right,
whatever
right.
reason, but that's his guy. So I just think it's important to note when they say things like, "Oh, he's going to be as big as him, as bad as him." Luffy might have a little inflated of a bounty right now comparative
Mm,
to debatably where he's at just because of the chain of events, right? It could be what he's truly worth, but my point is that the potential is being seen there very clearly and also on a high scale, right? Somebody
mm-hmm.
directly under Doflamingo, That's a problem.
Mhm. And they're like, the Straw Hats are like the boogeyman in the night coming for some of these people, which is badass, and I'm very excited to see where that goes and how they continue to level up, because we know that the Straw Hats are gonna continue to level up because they could become a real problem themselves
Yes.
against what Doflamingo's plans are, you know? Fascinating,
Whatever they may
and
be.
that's fascinating too, to your point, because Doflamingo probably has different plans in the world government. Let's say there's a
Mm.
new order,
Oh, 100%
whatever.
he does. Because that's what
Right.
he's saying. There's a new era. So, in my opinion, he's saying F you, world government, but
Right.
he's also,
So
who are you
he's
aligning with?
worried about the Straw Hats coming up on him, and but then also the Straw Hats are against the world government for the most part as
Mhm.
pirates and like all the corruption in the world government. So this will be very interesting to see how this plays out. As
Again, the sowing of discourse, right?
why? And
Why?
because people are easily controlled when they're confused and they're angry and upset. Easy to control them.
Why particularly that island?
That was Jaya, right? Where we meet Bellamy,
Mm,
Blackbeard. Jaya is like the homeland of all this lore. Is he
Jaya
trying to?
has a lot here, dude.
So are they trying to sow discourse so that they can A, distract and be confused, and then C, make them angry to control them so they don't look too closely at what the truth could be?
And also how many players we had there is so important to
Mm-hmm.
me, right? How
Yeah,
many
why were they
people
all at Jaya?
happen to be there
So, you're so
is saying
right.
a lot.
Why was Blackbeard bit
A
there?
lot
Why
of
was this?
things were moving at the same time.
Yeah.
Even Shanks
So
was moving with
yeah.
Whitebeard at the same time. Remember sending him a message saying he was going to go see him, all in the same kind of timeline, talking about this new era. Just very interesting.
It is. I
Um,
agree.
now
All
let's
right, we
go.
got to talk about the Foxy Pirates. Now we have to do it. Okay.
Okay, first note I have that I think is interesting is Usopp calls out that Robin is being secretive when she saw the island and didn't announce it. Speaking about the Long Island, right?
Yes.
I think that's interesting, right? Why we're being very clear about how separate Robin is right
Yes, and she's continuing to be separate. And
now.
she calls him long nose in this, which again is, we've talked about this, is better than liar, but it's still pretty.
Usopp
She's
cannot get a
calling
good
him long
nickname to save
nose.
his life,
No,
dude. They're
no,
better off calling this man Goggles and
no,
cutting him a
no.
break.
Okay, so my first notes. We've talked a lot about the animals in One Piece. We love the
Mhm.
animals in One Piece. We kind of do get a lot of animals in this arc. So we get the octopus, which I thought was really cool,
Mhm.
actually. Like, I was on board with the octopus. Then they meet the dog that's like this super long
Cat
backed
dog.
dog, cat dog, yeah, or like a super long Dachshund. And then I was like, oh, I get it. Long Island or long,
Yeah.
the long dog.
Long
Everything's
ring,
long.
Long
Everything's,
Island.
yeah, 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 exactly. Like, I get it. Everything is supposed to be long.
And we find out the guy was on stilts for like 11 years, 10
Yes, a
years.
really long time. Who is the first human that they meet. And then, so they first see the horse after they see the dog. So they actually meet animals first back to back. Then they meet the man on stilts, who's going to be a key
Mhm.
player in this arc.
And then the Foxy Pirates show up.
Yes, I have a lot. Can I just talk about the leader of the Foxy Pirates?
Please.
So his name is Silver Fox, right? Like technically he's called Silver Fox.
Silver Fox Foxy? Silver Foxy
Fox
Fox?
Foxy. He's kind of like I think he's supposed to be like, what's that cartoon from the olden days where the skunk is trying, like Peepee Le Pew, and he's trying to be like
Mm.
French and flirty. I think that's what Foxy's supposed to be, like French and flirty. Is he part bird with the beak? Is he a bird man?
And he's known for these Davy Back fights, right? Where we're going to pretty much play
Mhm.
games unfairly, might I
Oh
add.
yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you, if we want to talk about Wiper triggering me, nothing triggered me more than the unfairness of these games.
Oof.
I was just like, I was getting angry at points where I was just like, I'm mad and I shouldn't be mad. I should let this go.
Yeah.
And
I hate
I couldn't.
it.
I really couldn't. There were some things I couldn't. And that if you lose the match, you lose the crew member. Uh,
Yeah. Kind of
and
mess
we
up.
decide to play this game
We
multiple
do
times.
multiple times.
Multiple times.
Luffy actually wants to play the game so much, he wants to play all the games, which
Yeah.
is why I truly think, how is this not filler? Because we're not really getting any, like, we're just kind of seeing the
I
games.
genuinely don't know how this is not filler.
Unless it's Bellamy and Doflamingo.
And then the very end when
And
we
in the
see
very
the
end,
admiral. That's the only thing I can think of because I am confused. Again,
me
we maybe
too.
Foxy comes on later.
More for his story to go.
And he decides to play all 3 games, and that otherwise that they'd be shamed. And Nami's like, "Yeah, this is stupid. Let's not do this." And Zoro and Sanji both say they'd rather play than be shamed. And I was like, "Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
let's play then."
Um, and then Sanji says, this shocked me too. He's like, "This is what pirates do." And I was like, "Oh, is it?" But I guess
Is
so.
it?
That's fine. That's all right. That's who am I to say I'm not a pirate? So one thing I do really like about the Foxy Pirates is the masks. I do really like their
Yeah.
masks. And I actually really like their ship and I really like their Jolly Roger.
Mm.
And I really like Portia.
Portia's cool. Portia's
She's
literally the
cool.
only one. We kinda honestly could have taken her. It would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been really cool to have her join the Straw Hats.
Of course, Sanji knows what a booby prize is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have a note here. Again, I can't believe that this is canon and not filler. I was disappointed in Sanji's actions in this arc. Sanji's real
Perviness gets in the way. Too
he
much.
is too much. I think that a lot of the anime I don't really feel like upset by that. I don't
No,
really feel like annoyed by
never,
that. In this
never.
arc, I was like, come on again? Like, come
You know what
on.
also I love in other scenarios, but hated in
Yeah.
this arc was Sanji and Zoro fighting.
So I actually wrote down, I think this episode gives us a lot of like Zoro and Sanji tension, a lot of their
Mhm.
personalities, a lot of their dynamic.
Usually I think it's like a fun, I have fun with it, I
Right,
enjoy
right.
it. In this instance, I was like, "You guys need to work together because what is this? What is this just fighting over nothing,
Mm,
losing crewmates over
hmm
it? Are crewmates not important to you? What are we doing?"
I wanted to like this arc more. I loved Skypiea. Honestly, one of my favorite arcs we've
Mhm.
been to so far. I struggled with this arc. Not gonna lie. I'm sorry. Not gonna lie.
Again, because I didn't understand how it was not filler.
Same.
I cannot
Same.
drive that enough. And then also in the same note, right, we have Robin being very casual about the race.
Oh yeah. She's not worried about it.
Not
No.
at all. Now, I
No.
don't know if that's confidence or if we're looking for something else now, but again, there's a clear distance and a clear divide between Robin and the crew, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I don't think she's truly integrated with them. She's with them. She's traveling with them, but I don't think she considers,
Mm.
except for a notable exception in this arc.
Mm.
I think in this arc, we really start to see the development of her relationship with Chopper.
Yes.
I think that's a notable exception. Her and Chopper definitely have a closeness as far as the Straw Hats
Yeah.
go. I would venture to say at this moment, Robin is closest to Chopper.
And honestly, a little bit Zoro. Out of the
Mm-hmm,
times I
mm-hmm,
see respect
yeah.
exchange, it's usually her and Zoro having a clear understanding of each other. So I do think
Yes.
that Robin, Zoro, Chopper
Our
have the
unit.
only, yeah, have the only quote unquote relationship that Nico Robin has in this group so far.
And interesting, I want to make a note here in response to what you just said later, because Robin's not stressed. We talk about losing and winning crewmates, right? And Zoro says, "Oh, I never trusted her to begin with." And I was like, "Don't be jealous, Zoro. Don't be jealous. She's with someone like," because it was very like, "Oh, I never trusted her
A lot
anyways."
of people are on this ship and I'm just not seeing this ship. I'm not seeing the same ship that you guys are. I just do not see, I think they're too much alike. So everybody's
But
on this ship and I'm not on the ship. I'm sorry.
opposites don't always attract.
Mm,
Sometimes, like, you know what I mean? Like,
mm. It's very
I
royal
see,
family.
I see the ship.
Do you wanna talk about Foxy, or do you wanna move
Where are
on
we at?
past Foxy?
Personality? Yeah, that's okay. So I have a bit to say here.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so he's obviously the leader of the Foxy Pirates.
Mhm.
He is the slow beam, so he can actually slow things down as his devil fruit power. I did think, I was like, oh, actually, that would be extremely valuable in fights. If someone's coming to hit you, if someone's trying to shoot you with something, you could slow it down, you could dodge it. I see how it is a valuable and a powerful and like effective devil fruit to have. And again, when we talk about the different types of devil fruits, I really think that they're building like a team group fighting set. I think that what we've been
Mm,
shown so far is that certain devil fruits balance each other out because like
yeah,
rubber, lightning, or fire and smoker, like, you know what I mean? So you really need almost like a group of people with devil fruits to fight because you can have competing elements, but then also complementary elements. And I actually think having a slow beam on your team would be very effective, especially if you had someone that's like Luffy again, who can like think about in a fight with Luffy. And then if Foxy was also fighting on Luffy's side, he could slow down the opponents. And then Luffy just does his like a million punches per minute move, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's an effective
Yeah.
fighting combination. So I actually thought that the so beam was an effective fighting devil fruit to have. Now, he comes off very flirty. He comes off very like a little, can I say this, creepy? I don't know, a little bit, but
Yeah. I think
yeah.
he gave Waluigi energy.
He did give Waluigi energy. But then I wrote down, because I was really struggling at the beginning, halfway through this arc in episodes, I wrote down, because this is my nature. I was like, oh, he's just really insecure. He's not evil. He's not a bad guy. He's just really insecure. And that's why he acts like that. This is all bluster. Deep down, he's really looking for like reassurance, to be affirmed. And Usopp and Nami in particular, but all of the Straw Hats bully him. And it kind of made me feel bad for him because they keep calling him in the subtitles, in the
Split head.
text. Yes, but then also Idiot Beam. Not Slow Beam, it says Idiot Beam. So I wrote down like, dang, yeah, I kind of felt bad for him. And then I started to kind of sympathize with him. And then he made like, again, he makes poor choices in this arc, but I think that he makes poor choices out of insecurity. And I could kind of like empathize, want to talk to you, Foxy, and I want to have a one-on-one conversation, and I want to show you how you're coming off and reflect it in a mirror, and I want you to change your behavior. But I think this is coming from a place of insecurity. So I did go down like a real like
Therapy path.
I did with him. I really did. I was like, I could be your
Respect
therapist.
you. You're a much better person than me because I was like, I'm done with your But again, that's just our personalities. You're the nice one, and I'm like, I'm done with this. And then they take Chopper. They lose the battle. They take Chopper. And oh
I
my
have
gosh,
so much to say.
Chopper cries, and Zoro pretty much says you're responsible because Chopper's like, I only left to join this group particularly.
Right.
And Zoro pretty much says you're responsible for your own actions. Man up and take him. And I was like,
I know.
You're a little right.
And I side with Usopp and Nami when they were like, have some empathy. Because Usopp and Nami both say to Zoro, like, hey, have some empathy. But then Zoro says that
again,
to Chopper,
the
and then,
difference in our feelings.
I
Because I
know,
was like,
I know.
you know what? He's right. Because how can you get mad at him? You chose.
That's true. It was really unsettling for me, actually, this part, like with Chopper, because I was like, Chopper didn't want to go with them.
None of them wants
like
to go.
Crying, but he's also seems like a child, where they all seem like adults. And then he's like crying, and he does get more brave after what Zoro says. Zoro knew exactly what Chopper needed to hear to be brave. And Zoro said it, and then Chopper was brave. So, like, Zoro knew exactly what to say, where everyone else was like, it's okay, Chopper, we're so sorry, we're freaking out with you. Zoro knew to say, like, basically, like, if you want to be a pirate, this is what it is. And then Chopper's all like, yeah, I'm brave, and I'll do it for the crew. Like, Zoro knew exactly what Chopper needed to hear to be brave. And I also thought, I wrote down here that Zoro said those things because, like, Zoro, under no mistake or no misunderstanding, was like, you're keeping Chopper. He was like, no, I'm going to beat you in the next round. I'm going to take Chopper back. Like, there was
he was like, it's fine. Just stop looking embarrassing about it, pretty much. Then we get into Sanji and Zoro playing a game together. This is where I got frustrated. Because they're just fighting the whole time. Nobody's taking this ball game seriously. And again, we have crewmates on the line. And that's what bothered me, I think, the most. But we do get some information, right? Which is they're a Wotan. And that they're not as large as pure-blooded giants. So again, something to think about.
And also, Sanji is wearing a ball hat, and everyone is teasing Sanji about his ball hat, specifically Zoro. And then Zoro says, you look like a real prince to
of
Sanji.
Dumbasses. He says, you look like a real prince of dumbasses. I wrote this down because, again,
but he says,
I'm sorry.
You look like a real prince.
A real prince. I wrote this down too because I thought, oh?
That's a little
Are we gonna keep saying prince and acting like it means nothing?
Right. That was a little hint, a little like story drop, I think.
Little
for
cherry
us.
drop. Little
yeah, a little for us to think of later. I
The one
agree.
canon moment in this.
The second. We got Bellamy and Doflamingo the second.
That's true, my bad. Then, like, the cheetah pirate
Yes.
sniffs the
Yes.
crap out of Luffy, and we kind of and then Luffy can't roller skate.
And then Zoro's trying to, like, help him. He's trying to teach him to roller skate. Now granted, I guess it's a point. I guess if you're a pirate and you're on a boat all the time, do you know how to roller skate? Do you learn how to roller skate?
I don't
Do you
know.
need to know how to roller skate?
Honestly, I think rollerblading is easier.
Than roller skating?
Yeah, roller skating is harder.
I think roller skating's harder than roller blading. The single blade down the skates?
Yeah, that's easier.
I think roller skating is easier with your four wheels. Yeah, I mean, I
I
don't
feel
know.
like
It's
we
been a
should
long
test this
time.
theory out.
We should with helmets, but we should. That'd actually be hilarious. So then they play dodgeball. Again, another game.
Yeah.
They play dodgeball.
Oh, they lose Robin.
They lose Robin after they've lost Chopper. Well, they lose Chopper, they win Chopper back, and then they lose Robin.
No, they don't take Chopper back. He takes his horse.
Oh, I do have thoughts on that.
Why would you not have taken Chopper back, won the game, and then gotten the horse back? That blew my mind. If they didn't go with Nami's strategy, it made no sense to leave Chopper, because then they were down a teammate. Again, just no strat here. No strat.
Interesting. Again, I don't see how this is canon episodes, but whatever. But I actually think that the whole getting the horse back, you're right. The way the order was wrong, but the ultimate goal of getting the horse back, I actually thought was very sweet and sentimental.
It was.
To give back.
I honestly totally forgot about the horse.
That was very sweet.
I didn't see them as captured. I thought, oh, once they start fighting, they kind of get to go. So I did forget completely about the horse and the still stand.
I forgot about it too until they brought it back up, and then I was like, oh my god, yes, like Luffy did all of this to get the horse back. And again, that's what Luffy does. He fights things to help other people out, fight for their dreams. He did all of these fights to get the horse back, and I thought that was very sweet. Luffy ultimately wins all of the fights with Foxy. So these fights go on, it's 1-to-1, him and Foxy. He ultimately wins them all. Then it's very beautiful. He gives the horse back to the owner. It's beautiful. They cry. We meet the mole son, like we talked about. They reunite.
He's been waiting for him.
Yes, that's beautiful. It's emotionally impactful. We kind of skip forward a little bit in episodes. And then why we tied it in here is because there's some canon parts of what happens here. But basically, the
before we get to Water 7.
Yes, exactly. The Straw Hats also end up on Foxy's ship, and they are trapped there. Foxy basically does like a sob story to Luffy to get Luffy to help him, but he tricks him and traps the Straw Hats on his boat. And they fight it out again. They have to fight some more, Luffy and Foxy. They fight again. Luffy wins again. And then they finally wrap up all that fighting. And I thought this was cool because then as the winner of the fight, Luffy could take some of Foxy's crew. But then he's like, okay, I'll take your crew. Order number 1, go join another crew. You're dismissed.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really funny, like, full circle moment there with that. Yeah, I thought that was a fun way to wrap that up. So then they end up going to what they think is an uninhabited island. Chopper actually calls out that there's bicycle marks. So then they're walking on the island. They see like a rock, and Chopper thinks it's a mushroom, but it's actually someone's hair. They come up upon him, and this is where the Straw Hats meet Kuzan. Now, we should back up real quick because earlier in these episodes, we actually see a part where the elders, so the world government's elders, are discussing Kuzan, and they say basically that they believe that he should take his job more seriously. Like that he should be showing up in a specific way, and that it's paraphrasing, but ultimately the gist is he should be taking his job more seriously, which is very curious for an admiral high up in the world government. That's a good point to call out. What do they mean he's not taking his job more seriously? What does that mean?
And then he's got like a sleep mask is essentially what it is that they find.
When the Straw Hats run into him on the island, yes.
And the most notable thing that happens is Robin is terrified of him.
Yes.
And we have yet to see Robin be flustered yet.
Or terrified like that. Robin's like, this is one of the most powerful people in the world government. He's an admiral. And Kuzan, he ends the episode with saying to her, she's grown into quite the young lady. that insinuates he knew her when she was young. That's
Yes.
his mic drop at
I
the end of
mean,
this
she's
episode.
even insinuating something stressful, right? So they're looking for Robin.
Yes. And I believe that he was a part of when the ships flew up and she first got her bounty and she first started to be wanted by the
Mm.
government. He was there because how else would he know
Mm.
her? Either he was a part of that or he saw her when she was maybe trying to escape the blown up ships. He was a part of whatever happened when she was 8. So I'm very curious to see the next arc, where we go next. If you like this video and you can think of someone else who liked this video, please share it with them. See you next time. Cheers!